What's good, everybody? Robert Sykes, Ketosavage.com. Today, I'm going to continue this tutorial series, day 4 of the tutorial series. I would like to talk about what the difference between ketosis and ketoacidosis is, because there's a big misconception that they're the same thing, and they're two opposite ends of the spectrum. People's fear of ketoacidosis is probably one of the main reasons that people don't try to get into the ketogenic diet and get into ketosis, because they assume that they're the same thing. Pardon me. Alright, so what's the difference? Ketosis is like nutritional ketosis, what I do, the keto diet, how it can be benefited towards athletes and people, and how it is a good thing, is basically the body is using ketones as a fuel source. Okay, we know that. What's new? The ideal millimolar range for that, millimolar being your blood beta hydroxybutyrate level, which is one of the ketone bodies. The ideal range for that is between like 1 and 3 or 4. It's kind of like the sweet spot for nutritional ketosis. You're technically in ketosis if your millimolar is 0.5 or greater. I don't know what mine was last time I checked. I think like 1.5 or 2. But if you're above 0.5, you're technically in ketosis. The sweet spot's between 1 and 3. And you get that way when your body's using ketones as a fuel source, does not have excess insulin or blood glucose. So that's the sweet spot there. And you can test that using blood strips or urine strips or breathalyzers. But that's going to be another tutorial altogether. So that's what ketosis is. That's a good thing. That's what you want. What is ketoacidosis? Okay, ketoacidosis is bad. You don't want that. That's when your blood beta hydroxybutyrate level is like 20. Okay, 1 to 3 is the sweet spot. 20 is not good. For your body to get to 20, you have to be incredibly insulin resistant, meaning your body is not absorbing the insulin from your bloodstream and is producing ketones. That's not like a common thing. You have to be pretty much like a diabetic dependent on insulin for that to even happen. Quick disclaimer, I'm not a doctor. I'm not playing one on the internet, so don't hold me accountable for anything that goes wrong. Do your research, speak to a physician, speak to a doctor, yada, yada, yada. Disclaimer. But yeah, that ketoacidosis is when your blood beta hydroxybutyrate level is like 20 millimolar. Okay, you're not gonna get to 20 millimolar unless you're like a hardcore diabetic that's incredibly insulin resistant and is requiring excess insulin like pumped into them. So the average person that's not a diabetic, that doesn't have to worry about that, doesn't really have anything to worry about in regard to ketoacidosis, because your body is like a efficient machine. Once your ketone levels get high, they shut off basically. Once your blood glucose starts to rise, it shuts off ketone production. So you're not going to even really get to like a 5 or 6 millimolar without like a lot of effort or really streamlining your nutrition. The average person is going to have trouble getting above 4 or 5 probably. So ketoacidosis at 20 millimolar should be no concern whatsoever, unless, like I mentioned a million times already, you're an extreme diabetic and require insulin, or that's basically that comes to mind really. So keep that in mind. Ketoacidosis and ketosis, two totally different things, so nothing to worry about. Do not let that sway you against the keto diet. That is all I have to say. Until next time, toodles.